We're going to go through all the barns. I'm going to start with the smaller barns. I'm going to group them all together. Obviously, for instance, Andrew has Cruising in Style. Andrew Harris is Cruising in Style. Raced great, finished fourth the other day. Got pinned down in behind a tiring animal, but looked like he'd do in that class. So Andrew's found a good spot for Cruising in Style. Thank you very much for doing that. This is a horse that's been really, really good to us the last 2 months, and I think he's going to continue to do good things into the fall. John Bootenshane, he now only has Stonebridge Simba. Harness AM is done for the year. She's going to be turned out in the next couple of days. That just leaves Stonebridge Simba. I thought he raced good in the Meadows. I don't want to get into the race. I've clocked it 15 times. There was no quarter in 26 seconds. Moving on. Brandon, Beach Bum BB's all done for the year. He's asked to bring her back and get her throat looked at. She always tucks her head, so I think she's a couple of times I know she could have shut her air off when we were training her, and Brandon has made reference to it a couple of times, so we want to get her throat looked at for 2020. She's paced 54, come 27 in a piece, just got beaten 55, and did take a mark. I think it was only 58. I think it was, but she's paced 56, 55, and then 54. I thought she had a pretty decent 2019. It wasn't great on the pocketbook. She only made 11,000, which probably didn't cover her bills for the summer, but looks like she's going to turn into a nice 3-year-old. Then we have Angie Coleman. Angie is Olympic hopeful. I'm pretty sure Olympic hopeful is done for the season. Angie's going to take her to Florida with her and bring her back. She believes she's a big gangly filly that's got a decent future. And as I said, who am I to disagree with Angie and Rob? They did a great job for us both this year and last year. Jared Bothwell has Final Answer and Road Tripper. Road Tripper will be making a start this coming week, his first start back. Final Answer had a tiny little hiccup. He had a splint on his left front. We had a crowd, touched up that right hind. Last thing you want to do is have any pain at all in that left front leg when his injury from before is on the right hind. Reason being for that, for those of you who aren't horsemen, the pain, he would definitely take weight from that left front, protecting it. There's only one place, well, there's two, but mostly one place he would land it. That would be on that right hind. We don't want any extra pressure on that right hind, so we touch that right hind leg up also a little bit. He's going to qualify in 2 weeks' time, so no, 10 days from now. When I come back, we'll qualify him on the Tuesday. Tim has White Tiger racing this weekend. Outside of White Tiger, everything's turned out now. They're all gone. Path of Totality's turned out. Just for Me and You. That's not true. I think Just for Me and You is going to race one more time. Just for Me and You is going to race again, and then she'll be turned out. And then we have Willpower Fashion. He's already gone out. So it just leaves White Tiger with Tim. Blair with Heavenly Skies. I haven't talked to Blair since I come back, but he told me he was going to school this filly. I should follow up with that. It's a late in the year now, but at the same time, it'd be nice to get a couple of starts into her, shut her down for her 2020 season. She got really, really big, this filly. She was a decent size when we bought her, but she sprouted up like a weed. She's huge now. Next is the Irv Miller stable. You may say, when did we do business with Irv Miller? Well, we are now. Yes, Irv Miller has Yes first. The reason being is that Yes has Indiana Stakes. After Philadelphia, Irv Miller races in both places. So Irv Miller went to Yes. He was racing on Jugette Day. Jason used to work for Irv quite a long time ago. But I know Irv. Mark drove a lot of horse for Irv. I drove a couple of horse for Irv. And Jason worked for him, both him and Kirby, I believe. Definitely Jason. And Irv was at the Jug, and we made a decision that right after the fourth place finish he had, where he raced really, really well, that Irv had a truck there. He was going back to his farm. Why wouldn't we just send him then? So Irv has him racing tomorrow at Philadelphia. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. I mean, we've had this horse forever. This is the first time away from us, away from Jason, into a new barn, racing at a new track. This is the type of horse where he might come right to life now that he's got a change of scenery, change of trainer, change of driver. So I believe Marcus Miller's driving him. You don't have to correct me. I'll find out when this video's over. But I hope he is, because I think Yes is probably sitting on a big mile in Philadelphia. Carmen Osiello has Maintenance Man. I'm toying with the idea of giving Oso Pine to Carmen. Obviously, we have to make sure he's sound, school him once, and then likely will send him to Carmen. I could send him to Jason, but Jason had a good 2-year-old year with him, but at 3, he really just didn't fire for him. He went over to Angie, and he looked like he had a little more life. I think he's sitting on at least some sort of a resurgent of his former talent. So maybe continue to shake that tree a little bit and send him over to Carmen. So maintenance man's at Carmen's right now. He is slated to go to the Harrisburg sale. It might be a good spot for Oso Pine. So that's where I'm at right now with Oso Pine. He is down in Shed Row 12. I have to see how that curb looks, and then we could potentially school him either this Tuesday or next Tuesday and make a decision on that. If there's any heat in that curb, we'll probably wait a week to school him. There's no point rushing back when you have an injury like that. It's not a bad injury, but you can make it into a pesky injury if you rush him. So I know that Angie had him cry out, I believe, out in Illinois. He went to Ohio. He's back now. That curb should be good. I'll see what Jason did with him when he had him in Ohio for those few days. If he just turned him out in the field, then we probably will wait a week. It'll be a week from Tuesday when we school Oso Pine. And at that point, we'll make a decision. I'll be back then, so I can go with him. We'll make a decision of, is he going to stay with us or is he going to head over to Carmen's? I'm leaning to Carmen right now, but we'll see. So that's all the small burns. We'll be back in a minute. We have Mario, Harry. Decent end of the season for some of Mario's. Still got a stake race left. Obviously a little disappointing with little Capistrano last night, but still had a fantastic year. I pulled up her lines to look at her whole year, and pretty impressive year from her. So I'll be back in a minute. We got Mario, Harry, Jason, and then me. Be back in just a minute.